the US Navy has suffered irreparable damage to their reputation and huge financial loss after one of their attack helicopters and another fighter jet crashed in South China Sea just after taking off from an aircraft carrier. The incident occurred on 26th of October in the afternoon. Both the incidents happened within a span of around half an hour. Were they the result of any technical glitch or whether any other forces were behind the mishap? It is unlikely to be the result of a technical glitch because just after taking off, within a span of half an hour, a helicopter as well as an aircraft crashed. The helicopter was an MH-60 Seahawk helicopter. The fighter jet was an FA-18E Hornet, which is a Boeing fighter jet. So it is unlikely to be because of natural causes or any technical glitch. Fingers pointed towards China. Actually, there are only two countries in the region which are capable of waging an electronic warfare. They are India and China. At this spot, this location, India may not be the force behind this incident. All the fingers point at China. So this is the prima facie analysis. Let's go deeper into the whole issue. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. When a mishap happens, and if you don't know who are behind that, you need to analyze who are the possible ones. So first of all, I have done that. There are only two countries in the region which are able to do that. One is India, and because of many reasons, India could be removed. So the only country remaining as the suspect is China. Then you have to, look into the previous incidents. And then you have to look into the whole area, the history of the whole area. And, why China did this. First of all, you need to remember that the US President Donald Trump was on a visit to Japan at that time. In fact, the mishap occurred just a few hours before President Donald Trump landed at Tokyo International Airport. And even before that, he was in the area. He was attending the ASEAN summit at Malaysia. So there is a reason somebody wanted to remind Donald Trump something. What was that? Because China has been reminding the United States that South China Sea is our backyard and you are not supposed to conduct military exercises there. They have been saying it very clearly for the last couple of decades, and this area, South China Sea, has been witnessing a series of such mishaps right away from 2001 when the two Chinese fighter jets intercepted a US ISR, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft and brought it down. So the area has a history of such face-offs. And recently, almost a couple of weeks ago, two Chinese Su-27 aircrafts dangerously intercepted US Air Force's F-22 Raptor aircrafts. China claimed that Chinese aircrafts forced the US out of the area. They came dangerously close to F-22 Raptor. The US has been claiming that this F-22 Raptor is a stealth aircraft, and yet China has been able to locate the aircraft, trace it, follow it, and eventually force it to move out. Then the same experience happened to, or same fate happened to an Australian reconnaissance or observation aircraft. I think that was a P-8. Two J-10 aircrafts were scrambled by China, and they came close to the Australian aircraft. And China said the Australian aircraft was forced to move away from the area. China has been doing such dangerous interceptions in the past. Actually, in 2001 or 2, as I said earlier, an American aircraft was forced to land in Hainan Island of China. It was an EP-3 Ares 2 signals intelligence aircraft. Two Chinese J-8, I'm sorry, it was not J-10, J-8 aircrafts approached the US aircraft, came dangerously close to it, and eventually they hit. And what happened was that a Chinese J-8 aircraft crashed. The US aircraft also suffered damage, but the pilot was eventually able to control the aircraft, and it was landed at Hainan Island, which is in the South China Sea. But but Chinese authorities took into custody around 24 crew members of the US aircraft. They were thoroughly questioned. The aircraft was dismantled. China returned the pieces of the dismantled aircraft, not returned the aircraft fully. So they got whatever they wanted. They questioned the crew members. They got enough information from the aircraft. They recovered that. Then they dismantled the aircraft. They studied it, and eventually they returned pieces of the aircraft to the United States. And United States had to seek the help of Russia to bring those pieces back to their own country. So there has been history of such incidents in the past. So this time also it is logical to conclude that this fighter jet and attack helicopter were brought down by China. If you look into the capabilities of China, you find that they have got capabilities to carry out electronic warfare. They have actually made 7 man-made islands in South China Sea. All these islands carry, intelligence gathering towers, then radars are there, then all other type of equipment are there. So the strategy of China is to flood the region, the atmosphere with signals, and it will become very difficult for an enemy aircraft to survive in that hostile atmosphere. Most probably, they might have jammed the electronic systems of the aircraft. Since if an aircraft takes off from the deck of an aircraft carrier, or a helicopter takes off from the deck of an aircraft carrier, they need to have a perfect condition if they are to land. So in case of an electronic jamming, it would become very difficult for the fighter jet to land on a deck, because this is not like landing on an airstrip. This is not like landing on a proper runway. So it is different. I think China might have done that. There is another possibility, they might have carried out a lesser attack. Could be, many things are possible, because nowadays China has perfected many technologies. For example, they use flyers now to attack an enemy helicopter. I'm sorry, an enemy aircraft. They have perfected the technology. They will shower flyers, and because of the light emanating from the flyers, the pilot of the enemy aircraft will find it difficult to move forward. Again, it may cause fire to the enemy aircraft. Chinese jets are known to approach incoming jets dangerously close, even at the cost of their own aircraft. So they have been doing that for a long time, and it seems they have done that once again. Now there is a reason for China to do that, because the US President Donald Trump has arrived in Japan. Japan is the Betnoya of China. China doesn't want Quad exercise to continue. So these are many reasons, because US is allied with countries like Vietnam, then Indonesia, Philippines. So these friendships or treaties annoy China, and they will go to any extent to cause damage to foreign fighter jets or foreign warships that enter their area. So it's going to be going to be a murky situation in the coming days. I think the only country which is capable of handling China is India. Why I say so? Of course, I agree that technologically China is superior to India. Resource wise, also China is superior to India. But India is a country that cannot be easily browbeaten or cowed down because India has been facing China for long. India knows very well about Chinese equipment, about Chinese fighter jets, about Chinese technology. Recently, India got dismantled the PL-15 missile, and India has acquired the technology also. So, for the US, I think South China Sea is going to be their graveyard if they don't have help from India. I think Mr. Donald Trump might have learned the lesson in the hard way yesterday. China has not claimed anything. Of course, China is not going to do. US has not played the role of victim. It will be, very difficult for, it will be humiliating for the US to accept that. So let's see how things are going to develop in the coming days. Anyway, I think the days when the US Navy and the Chinese Navy are going to engage in a direct fight are not far off. Meet you with updates. Till then, goodbye.